So there's about 4,000 children each year that are diagnosed with cancer. That equates to about 10 children every day. Children with Cancer UK funds research into the cures of cancer and also looks for better and kinder treatments. We also have a number of welfare projects that look to support the families of children as they undergo cancer treatment. So we started working with RBI Visual in about 2011. And you actually approached us as part of one of your volunteering days to talk to us about how you might be able to help support the organisation from a comms point of view with a particular focus on video production. So the first project that we worked on was to have a corporate video that told the story of a boy called Louis, who at 19 months old was diagnosed with a form of leukemia. Louis was away with his family. They were on a family holiday to France, and they'd recently returned to the UK, and Louis developed a slight cold the next day. So his mother thought that this is all it was, that it was a cold, but he progressively got worse. And within a few days, bruises started to appear on his body, and at this point his mother really panicked and took him into the GP. Based on the GP's advice, they rushed Louis into hospital, and after a number of tests, it transpired that he had leukemia. He underwent perhaps 3.5 years, 4 years of quite gruelling cancer treatments, and luckily now, as a 9-year-old boy, Louis had 4 years of being in remission. ALL leukemia is actually one of the areas, and leukemia in general, that the research of Children with Cancer UK and other organisations has managed to have a huge impact on. In the 60s, survival rates and treatments were very, very low, within the kind of tens of percent. Now they're kind of pushing 92%, purely on the basis of the research that organisations like Children with Cancer UK and other like-minded organisations have done. And this research is only possible based on the generosity and commitment of our supporters that campaigns like the one that RBI helped to produce. We didn't have any footage of children undergoing their cancer treatment at the time, and what RBI Visual were able to do was capture very poignant footage and very emotional content of a child during that experience. It's also very rare for us to have a family that's so willing to talk about their experiences, and we recognise the importance of capturing that story in a very respectful way that kind of looks to promote their dignity and their understanding wherever possible. So working with RBI, we found kind of covered both sides of what we needed to achieve. It was very respectful to the family and did that in a very sensitive way, but also captured footage that we knew would be very effective for fundraising and for our wider corporate communications, because it was such emotive and such poignant footage. 6 years on from the initial contact that we had with RBI, we produced a number of campaigns using that original footage to really extend the impact and the exposure that that footage has had. So the television advert in March that had an audience of 13 million was hugely important. We're repeating that in June, repeating that in July, and we'll have those adverts going out towards the end of the year. Also, we have a number of campaigns that we've run across tube and train as well. The last campaign that we ran was back in March, and that used the original footage to capture stills and then build a campaign around very specific scenes from that original video. The exposure of those tube campaigns are probably about 5 million a month, so again it has a huge impact both in terms of our long-term ability to fundraise and also in terms of building the brand awareness of Children with Cancer UK. Based on those campaigns, we're raising around £250,000 each year. And the really important thing about this is regular income for Children with Cancer UK. And what that does is allows us to commit to the longer term research projects that might be lasting 3 or 5 years. The video, without doubt, has been the most impactful campaign that we've run to recruit new supporters, and that's reflected both in terms of the many thousands of new supporters that have recruited, but also the feedback that our publicly facing teams like the supporter care team get from the public. And there's been a huge amount of interest. If anyone does have free volunteering days in the future, there are a number of ways that they can get involved with Children with Cancer UK. We have a very big presence at the London Marathon, so they can certainly kind of get in touch to see whether they are able to secure a position. If they wanted to have share other skills through the volunteering days, what I would suggest is that they get in contact with our HR team, who would be able to talk through the type of skills that they can offer and see whether there are suitable areas for them to help and support our work. I can't stress how big an impact that these initial 2 days have had for Children with Cancer UK. It really formed the foundation of 6 years campaigning both on the television and tube cards across the UK. We've raised upwards of £250,000 a year based on these campaigns and recruited many tens of thousands of supporters, and this is all founded on the initial basis of the 2 days that RBI staff dedicated to Children with Cancer UK during their volunteer days.